pitching in the off season or during the summer. So I did get to see her experience her then. Since I didn't get to see her pitch a lot, I reached out to a good friend of mine who happened to be her coach, who's sailing around Mexico someplace right now, and asked for some insight on her. Quote, here's what he said: "She was strong-willed." I'll let you interpret what that means. But mentally tough, and very little bothered her. And my guess is some of that very little bothered her came from that relationship working with her dad. And if you know her dad and Steph, you may know what I'm talking about. What else he said was he would just give her the ball and expect her best, and he was never disappointed. And, he also mentioned one more thing, one thing that she continually asked him: "Am I batting tonight?" He didn't tell me what the answer was today. My guess is you could tell by the expression on her face whether she got a yes or a no. But Steph was another one of those outstanding high school pitchers. I don't know. When I think of the Rice ball pitchers, like I saw Paige pitch, unfortunately, as an opposing coach, and she was outstanding. And or Rice ball pitchers. And coming from someone who couldn't hit a Rice ball, it's one of the things I guess I despised about them because they were so good at it. But Steph, and some of her highlights, she started as an 8th grader on a varsity team in Central Iowa at the conference that we played in, and the teams they played. That's a pretty good deal, because it's some of the best softball in the country, and especially in the state. Right now, Central Iowa dominates that sport in Central Iowa. She pitched one of the fastest games, 52 minutes in a 7-inning game. A lot of strikeouts. She's one of several people that I know that have pitched a no-hitter and lost. She's tied the most single-season wins in 27. Holds a single game strikeout record for the state tournament at 17 in a 7-inning game. And if my math's right, that means 4 people actually moved the ball on her. Holds a single season strikeout record, 257, and led Valley to the large class. And there were only 2 classes back then. There are 5 now. State championship in 1990 and runner-up in 1991. In 2008, she was inducted to the Iowa Girls Athletic Union Hall of Fame. And that's a pretty impressive high school career. I always wondered, well, then she went on to Drake. Well, how is a high school pitcher going to do against college kid teams who have the best player from every team? Every player on their team is the best player. Well, let me tell you. In 1993, she led the nation in saves at Drake. And this all in 1993. She led the Missouri Valley Conference in ERA, 0.77. And overall ERA at 1.04. And in 1993, they were conference champs. In 1994, they were conference champs, and also went to the NCAA tournament. In 1995, the highlight, she pitched a perfect game against the University of South Florida. 1996, it's the first team all-conference, first team scholar athlete, and 2-time MVC pitcher of the week. She had 15 career shutouts, 270 career strikeouts, and a 1.72 career ERA. Well, that being said, her softball career, you know, she had a lot of drive and great work ethic. Well, she's taken that to her post softball life, and she is one of the outstanding realtors in the state of Iowa. Always one of the top real estate agents in her company, and she just does an outstanding job. And if you got her on your team, you're in good shape. And not only that, is that she gives back to the game. She coaches youth softball, coaches her daughter, which is always, in many families, that's an interesting challenge. I don't know what it is like in hers, but it's just great that she's given back to the sport that was so good to her and she was so good to us. With that being said, I'd like to welcome Stephanie Wright Hart.